welcome to another episode of Tipsy Chef. Today I'm going to do Tipsy Chef Takeover of my sister's recipe. She came here a few days ago, like 3 or 4 days ago, and she shared this garlic parmesan chicken recipe with me. So I'm going to redo it for you guys. So right here I have a whole chicken wing. What I did is I cut the end off. I split it in the middle here, and that's what I have here. And what I do is get a kitchen towel, a clean kitchen towel, and I start to dry that off. Because all we're going to do is we're going to bake this with cornstarch, salt and pepper, and baking powder. The baking powder, when you add it, when you're baking it, it's going to make it crispy and fluff up a little bit. Not a lot, but it's going to fluff up and get really crispy. And then our sauce is going to include, this is salt and pepper for the cornstarch dredge. We're going to use garlic, because it's garlic parmesan. I got some Wisconsin Parmesan cheese shaved. I'm going to put this in the food processor and get this grated down. Melt some butter, saute the garlic for a little bit, not too long, and I'll add all that together. And once this is baked and comes out crispy, I'm going to toss it with these ingredients. In this bowl I have a cup of cornstarch. I have a teaspoon of baking powder. Over here I have the chicken that I dried on the towels. I'm going to salt and pepper them. As you know, I like a lot of pepper, but you can put as much as you want. This is seasoned to taste. This fresh ground black pepper. I have a bit of salt here. And once again, you season to your taste. And once that's seasoned, we're going to go over here. That mixture of the cup of cornstarch and half a teaspoon of baking powder. I'm going to now shoosh it. Is that a cooking term? Shoosh. I don't know. Smoosh. I'm going to mush it together. I'm going to mush it together. And cornstarch, that gives you that flaky, real thin crust texture. And the baking powder, once it hits the heat, it's going to expand just a little bit. So we smooth this together. As we smooth this together, over here, as you see, I have a baking pan with I don't know what you want to call that, but I have something that the chicken wings is not going to sit on the bottom of the baking pan. So I want to elevate it off of the baking pan. So as I wash my hands, I'm going to put those on the baking pan, and we're going to bake them at 450 degrees until they're done. It's going to take about 10 to 12 minutes. So we're going to put this on single layer like this. And then we're going to bake them at 450. I have the oven that's set at 450. If you look, if it doesn't have any of the breading or the coating, it doesn't matter, because the liquid and the cornstarch has saturated that meat and skin. It's going to get crispy. All of this is going to get crispy. So as you guys go away, I'm going to put this in a 450 degree oven, and I'm going to bake this for like 10 to 12 minutes. When it comes out crispy, we're going to make the sauce, the garlic parmesan sauce. I would drink my celebratory, if you will, glass of wine, but my hands are dirty. I see you back. Come on, like, share, subscribe. I see you in just a moment while I bake these chicken wings. I had baked for about 30 minutes at 450 degrees. I decided to take the chicken out when it was baked and deep fry it for, what, 3 to 4 minutes, 2, 3, 4 minutes, just to get that crispy skin, because I love crispy skin. So we're going to move over here. We're going to start the sauce. I already have parsley in here. I'm going to add a half a stick of butter in the food processor right here. All this is going to happen in the food processor. You don't have to shop or anything. I have 5 cloves of garlic. But this is garlic Parmesan chicken. I'm going to add about half of, this is an 8-ounce container of shaved Parmesan cheese. I'm going to add half of this and then see where we are once I blend that. We're going to add some pepper, a little bit of salt, put our blend in. So it's really dry. We're going to add some oil. This is just regular vegetable oil. That's what I use. You can use grapeseed, olive oil, peanut oil, just to get it going. I have a 1/4 cup of water to thin that out. We're going to add half of that first. Blend it again. We're going to use a small spatula to push it down. It smells good, right? Mm-hmm. And it's pretty thick, so I think I'm going to add the rest of that water to thin it out. Once we toss it with the chicken. So remember, we just baked the chicken. We fried the chicken a little bit, so it's still warm, it's still hot. So we're just making the sauce to toss it with it. We want to thin it out just a little bit. Want to taste it? Grab me a spoon. Taste a little bit of it. This is good stuff. Yeah, it's a perfect garlic Parmesan. Get the parsley. And the parsley has a citrusy kind of, so it cuts all of that butter that's in there. So we toss that with here. The hot wings. That's all we need for that. I'll take our tongs. Just keep tossing, because these are still hot, so it's gonna, that butter was room temperature, it's gonna start to melt, and that garlic flavor is gonna come through. That parsley is gonna cut all of that richness of the butter. So come back in a little bit, I'll show you the finished dish. This is a finished product of the garlic Parmesan chicken. As you see, I have shaved Parmesan on top and grated Parmesan in the dressing. And that's it. Another weeknight meal. Thank you for joining me on the Tipsy Chef. I'll see you next time.